Welcome to Haunted Homebodies, where Halloween isn't just a day, it's a lifestyle. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Sarah, and we're your guides through the delightfully dark corners of comfort horror. Grab your shark wrangler and your scuba gear.
It's time to quit this job.
So, listeners,
Wow.
right before we recorded that, we were figuring out who was going to say what, and neither of us actually remember that being a quote, but like it feels like it was a quote.
I feel like any number. Oh, it probably was LL Cool J's character. I'm
That
guessing
feels right.
because I really enjoyed him and he spoke to me. So
he was great.
he also seemed like he was just like a chef, like he wasn't invested in like the shark research. It seemed like he was there by happenstance.
Well, I'm gonna hold my thoughts on the science for a little bit. I also need to go on a tangent before we talk about our actual movie discussion today. So, do you remember eons and eons ago, we did an episode on the Lost Boys?
Yes.
And found out that they were making a Broadway musical of the Lost Boys, which has started. Like, people go see the Lost Boys musical now. I'm not in places on the internet that would tell me if it's good or not, but it exists in the world. It's a Broadway musical. Announced today, just today, Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton, the guy who wrote Hamilton, is doing The Warriors Broadway musical. A gender-swapped Warriors.
Okay, I'm into it.
Yeah, I felt like you needed that news and information. Also, things I found out because then I went on a small internet dive on The Warrior. So it's based on a book, which is based on a Greek mythology, on an old Greek myth, which I don't think I knew that. And this makes so much sense. I can't remember if I said it out loud when we recorded the episode or if this was just a thought I had in my head, that it is a quest movie, but I was like kind of bored by it. And in my head, I was like, it's not like the Odyssey where there's like side quest, side quest, side quest. It was just like A to B to C.
Yeah.
And so then I thought it was fascinating that it actually was based on a Greek myth. But anyway. Throwing it back to our Warriors episode.
I think at the so I watched the director's cut, and I think in the director's cut they actually introduce the myth a little bit, or at least say the name or something in that.
Interesting.
So I did know that it was based on a myth, but I agree. Still, I actually want to now like read the actual myth it's based on because I'm curious if they dampened it down so that it would work cinematically in a more like streamlined way, but like, since it wasn't like still wasn't an epic, like a epic fantasy, it was
right. And like rather than like moving through several countries, it's literally they go from the Bronx to the tip of Manhattan.
Yeah.
I do feel like I feel like it makes more sense to me as a Broadway musical though. Like that level of camp that was within it feels fitting.
The choreography, I bet, is gonna be so good. I can't wait. I need to see. I hope they stream this like they did with Hamilton eventually. Like I want to see the choreographed like dance fights.
Or we could just take a field trip, podcast field trip to New York. We'll see it, or it'll tour someday. I don't know.
Yeah, see it off Broadway. Is that the term?
Yes.
Okay, I'm in. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. Since Chris like periodically will also share things with me because I'm just like not on social media. He's like, oh, I have to share like the latest gossip on this or that, and I'm like, thank you. This is the best way to receive news because I don't get any of the extra crap. I don't get like randomly traumatized while I'm scrolling. I just have people like hand me these nice little tidbits.
I love that. I almost last night, and I am regretting now that I didn't do it. I'm gonna go find it and send it to you after this. There's a post on Instagram that like Apple TV did. I don't follow them, but it came up in the algorithm, and it was just different facial expressions that Matthew Rhys made throughout the Widow's Bay season. And I just like need to send it to you. It's hysterical.
Okay, so that also, I mean, we're gonna get to the movie in a few minutes folks, but that season just wrapped up. Did you finish watching season 1?
Yes.
How did you feel about the finale? We'll do a spoiler free. reaction here.
I liked it. I felt like it
Of
contained
course you did, finale
all of
apologist.
the yes. Oh, so you're gonna say you didn't like it. See,
No, not
I
necessarily, but go
okay.
ahead, you go ahead.
I feel like it brought all the elements that I've liked about the show, which is that A, it has humor, B,
Yes.
it is actually, like, scary, and
Yes.
C, there's a lot of heart in it. There's, like, a lot of emotion in it, and I felt
Yeah.
like that was all there, and I saw the internet be like, "Oh, I feel like that makes it this whole season feel more like a prequel," and I was like, "Oh, it just makes me have more faith in the fact that when they come back for season 2, there's a plan." It
True. I could see that, yeah, that they weren't just like, "Oh, here's one season and we'll see what
Yeah.
happens," which maybe still is, like, how it went. I liked it overall. Um, it was a little bit, like, dark. Like, there's just a few episodes where I was like, "Oh, we, like, lost the cozy for me,"
Yeah.
and you were saying there's a lot of heart, but it was also, like, with plot lines that were, like, extremely fucked up too.
They
You know
were,
what
they
I
were
mean? Like,
dark,
yes.
yeah.
So that was hard for me because 'cause I'm like, is this, like, a trigger warning where I had read some things, like, about this episode and, like, maybe I wouldn't watch it, like, with no context? I don't know. It's just,
Okay.
like, certain like, I have certain buttons I just, like, don't want pushed, and it wasn't anything, that graphic or horrible. It's just, like, characters you love, and you're just, like, it's just a big struggle and just good people doing bad things, you know? It's always a hard one for me.
This show is not so, like, where everyone has compared it to Parks and Rec, and, like, the creator of the show was a writer on Parks and Rec. That is, like, everybody being a good person all the time, like, maybe they're a little annoying, maybe they do this kind of bad thing, but, like,
Yeah.
this is not
This is bad.
that.
It's not like you understand the gray area and, like, where the characters are coming from, but, like, they're doing bad things. Like, this isn't
Yeah.
like oh, maybe they're making the right choice. No, they're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah,
The wrong
yeah.
thing is happening objectively, and that's really hard for me to get behind, but made for interesting TV. Speaking of which, of, like, just kind of where this conversation has already gone, so this is, like, our last episode of season 2,
Oh my
Sad
god.
Face, which I was just thinking, like, we'll have to do, like, a deeper dive into Widow's Bay for
Maybe we'll have, like,
season 3.
yeah, well, or we have, like, a special episode
Oh,
just about
yeah.
Widow's Bay, like, you'll just see us pop up, and we
You
won't be
never
back. We'll be
know.
here for a good time, but not a long time.
There you
We'll
go.
see.
There you go. Subscribe to the Substack. You won't miss
Yeah.
anything. Or you might miss nothing because nothing will happen. We don't know.
We don't know, we
We
don't
don't
know.
know. We don't know. We have, like, lives and day jobs, et cetera, but should we talk about the movie? What do you think?
I guess that's what we're here for, yeah.
I suppose. Do you wanna intro it for us?
Oh, I would love to. So, today we're talking about Deep Blue Sea, which was released on July 28th, 1999. This is a perfect summer. I was going to call it a blockbuster. I doubt it was a blockbuster, but this is a
No. Like,
perfect
Shark
summer
Week,
flick.
maybe? Yeah, this seems like very
Yes.
I wonder if Shark Week was a thing in 1999.
I have no
Probably.
idea when Shark Week started, and I'm not going to Google it.
No, me neither.
Yep.
Evan, let us
We're
know.
gonna we're gonna
'Cause
let you
Evan knows
all
everything.
wonder. Evan will tell us behind the scenes.
Yes.
It is rated a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb and on Rotten Tomatoes. We've got 60% score for critics and a 40% score for audience. Have I ever told you about how I react to Rotten Tomatoes scores?
No.
So basically, like, if the scores are really high, like 80s, 90s on both, I'm like, great, this is good to go.
Yeah.
If the scores are really low, I'm intrigued. I'll read a little bit about it.
Yeah.
If the score is like 60 to low 70s for both, I'm like, ugh, this is gonna be boring. I can tell you it's gonna be boring, and I don't want
Yeah.
it. This is good
This is
enough. 60,
I was gonna
60
say, this is
critics,
not a
40
boring movie.
audience. Yeah, yeah,
Not a boring
yeah.
movie.
I'm all in.
While you were just describing that to me, that's like the same, logic track that Chris uses for finding Chinese food. like a Chinese food restaurant.
Yes, because you want, like, the authentic experience, and apparently, like, white people expect a specific type of service, and they
Oh.
tend to rate this is, like, a well-known thing
Hmm.
at Chinese food restaurants. You wanna look for 3.5 stars on Yelp.
That's what he says. Yeah, he's like, it has to be like if
Yes.
it's above 3.5 stars, I won't go, and if it's yeah,
Yeah, it's basically like that means that there's good, authentic food,
yes,
but the service is not what people have
interesting.
come to expect in certain
Okay.
restaurants.
Well, as
Yes.
a homebody, I don't know if you've heard, I like almost exclusively do takeout. As a homebody, also with a
Yeah.
2-year-old, this is just really
Yeah.
not an enjoyable age to eat out at restaurants. We try it every now and again, and we actually have been going to Chili's, and he's learned how to
Oh,
dip his
fun.
chips into the salsa, and it's
Oh
so
my
cute.
god,
So we
that's
basically just go to get the
adorable.
chips in the salsa to watch him dip.
Okay.
It's
I
amazing.
love it. I love it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so give us the summary of this movie before we like totally get off track again.
I feel like that's what tonight is going to be. All right. Searching for a cure to Alzheimer's disease, a group of scientists on an isolated research facility become the prey as a trio of intelligent sharks fight back. I didn't realize it was a trio of sharks. I'm going to be honest, not till this
I feel
moment.
like I knew that there was greater than one, and that was as much thought as I gave that. Also thinking back to your criteria in terms of like intrigue, willingness to watch, give a movie a chance, etc. This movie has 2, like, really low budget sequels, and I feel like that is another thing that makes me feel like, okay, the original has something. I don't wanna see the
Mm-hmm.
sequels unless I'm in, like, a really ironic, crappy movie mood, but then that shows me that, like, people really enjoyed or, like, has a cult following or something about the first movie,
Yes.
had fans wanting more, and then they created more. Like, I feel like that's a good sign for me too.
That's such a good point. Excellent point. Yeah.
So, was this your first time watching Deep
It
Blue Sea?
sure was.
That's kind of surprising. I don't I saw this movie several times with Courtney growing up. It was, like, kind of part of our lore, but I don't know, it was, like, late '90s, early 2000s shark movie. It seems like something you would have tuned in for,
It's
or that
I
we would
don't
have.
know. I don't know how I missed it. I don't know
Yeah.
how I missed it, but
Well, tell me your initial thoughts then.
it was a lot.
Yes.
Like this movie
Not
does
boring.
not stop.
No, high octane.
High octane
For
indeed.
better or worse.
Mostly worse.
Yeah.
But it's not a good time. But it
Right.
was like a little overwhelming sometimes.
Fair. I think as a first time watcher, as like a adult, this would be like, what is happening? But this was, I've watched this so many times. Like I said, it's kind of like part of my my sibling lore with Courtney. Um, and it is just like so bizarre and silly. It definitely has that late 90s, early 2000s, like over the top in terms of action and just like science be damned, plot be damned. Like we don't need to follow any sort of logic, but we're gonna like pretend we are. I feel like this movie fits into this really weird camp of trying to like explain itself, but like with the most like unreasonable I don't even know how to describe it. It's like trying to explain the unexplainable, and it's like, no, this science is legit here, people.
Oh
Shark
my
brains, come
god.
on.
The science? Do we have a time when we are gonna dive deeper into the science, or is this
I
my
think so. I
time?
think so. I mean, it
Okay.
can be your time.
I will hold it. I will hold
Okay.
it in. 'Cause it was it they want you to not just suspend disbelief, they want you to rewrite how you think the world works.
Totally, totally. Um, what did you think about the shark effects?
I mean, some of them were not bad.
Yeah, I think that was part of what grabbed me about this movie is because like we all saw Jaws growing up, that like for most of us that was kind of like our first intro to shark movies, and then like pre CGI we were watching, like shadows and like dorsal fins, and it was like, oh, the idea of sharks, but like nothing, they put red food dye in the water. Nothing sharky was actually happening. And I think this movie was one of the first times where like, that actually looks like a really scary shark and like kind of looks real. And some of it's absurd, but like other parts of it's like you're seeing a lot of sharks for better or for worse in this movie.
And I mean, all of the shark CGI was better than the last scene in Dangerous Animals and that shark.
Which is, so funny because this was so long ago
This
in
was
comparison.
25 years earlier.
Yeah, I don't understand. And then I always think back to like Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring with the Balrog, and I'm like, CGI was so good. And like so sparse. They did so many practical effects and amazing. Anyway, let's just talk about Lord of the Rings for a second.
It's our last episode. We had to do it one more time.
Got to talk about Widow's Bay. We got to talk about Lord of the Rings, and then we'll talk a little bit about the movie. Something about this movie that I really enjoyed was the cast. I think it's a pretty fun. I wanted to say amalgamation again, and I don't think that word applies here.
I feel like it could.
Of 90s, 2000s. It's an interesting group. Let's put it that way. So we've got Samuel L., our guy, Samuel L. Jackson. He is like the potential investor. I don't really know what his actual...
He's a suit. I think we're supposed to think of him as a suit. Yeah.
Right. So he's coming in. He's curious. He's learning about the research that's being done. Then we have Michael Rappaport. I literally don't know what he's there for, but like happy to have him. Comedic relief. He's like an assistant. I don't know.
They don't establish
He is a worker.
That.
Then we have Stellan Skarsgard. I believe he's like a brilliant scientist. Is that what they say at the beginning?
Yes.
And then Samuel L. Jackson is like, how brilliant can he be? He's like pissing into the wind or something like that.
Right.
I think that was him. Then we have LL Cool J, who is the chef, and he has a pet parrot named Bird. Both charming. And then we have our main characters, who are probably like the least enjoyable for me. Kind of funnily enough.
Hands down.
Yeah, just boring and like not cool. So we have Carter, who clearly was ripped by Sharknado for like whoever the main guy was there. It was definitely based on Carter. And then we have Dr. Susan McAllister. I don't know who the actors were who played them, and I don't really care. But Dr. Susan McAllister is the Alzheimer's researcher, and she's got some really interesting thoughts, some really interesting experiments that she's running here.
And an interesting grasp of scientific morals.
Right, I was going to say,
they
like,
tell us.
Yes. I don't know how we got any sort of approval to do anything that we did in this facility.
Well, she didn't. She directly violated the
Geneva
Harvard
Code or something.
No, the Harvard Compact is what they called it.
I forgot.
Which I believe the Harvard Compact imaginary thing in this movie basically says you can't make animal brains bigger. I think that's what it is.
That is what all scientists are worried about, is making animal brains bigger.
It's just predator brains. Yes. Brain size means everything. Also, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah. Also very important that we talk about the fact that Carter is, I believe, what they called a shark wrangler.
I mean, what else would you call him, Ashley?
I got nothing.
The man basically is riding a shark at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's very strange and anxiety provoking, which brings me to the setting of this film, which is literally nightmare fuel for me. So we have an isolated ocean research center, basically this flimsy looking metal island that is like an iceberg, meaning like the vast majority of it is under the water.
Why though? Why?
So much of it. I will say, as a movie setting, I do really love the like, we are stuck here, and like I liked the kind of like now we're in this
Yes.
chamber, and now this one's filling up with water, and now the shark got in here, and now the shark's there, and you don't know where the shark is. Like, I think that all worked very well in terms of like the story, the suspense, and everything, but like so scary. Like, why does this exist? I guess maybe because she's trying to hide all of her scientific crimes.
I don't know.
They need
I
easier
don't
access to their
know.
big-brained sharks.
What's, like, so funny is that so much of it is underwater, but then they still, like, pull the sharks up from underneath, like, to a so, like, they could have just done that at
Yes.
the surface
I didn't understand
level.
any of the handling of the sharks, any of the choices that were made. It was
No.
very weird. And then everyone also, like, whether the sharks have like big brains or not, just being like very nonchalant about like the proximity to the sharks. They were, I don't
Yes.
know. I don't know. They were not taking the appropriate precautions in my very scared of shark opinion. So just saying. Um we talked about last week in Dangerous Animals that we really enjoyed that sharks were not the villain, they were like the pawn, right? They are definitely the villain in this movie, but I guess
Yes.
it's a little bit complex because they're like would have probably just left everybody alone if they weren't being experimented upon. So with the experimentation, their brains got so big and they were so evolved that they could do all this crazy stuff like swim backwards and also then got the ability to want to seek vengeance. Vengeance. So they wanted freedom and also they clearly wanted vengeance because they could have gotten their freedom without like systematically ending all of these people's
I
lives.
feel really confident that they with the amount of damage they caused, that they could have
Yes.
just escaped really
Like just
easily.
gone through the gate and off they went.
Yes.
Yeah, it did
Instead,
not
they wanted
seem
to kill literally everyone.
they were so petty. Like I kind of respect it. Like I feel like all of the humans kind of deserved it aside from LL Cool J because he was just trying to like make the perfect omelet.
He was. He was just trying to live his best
You know?
life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I don't know that he
No.
knew what was going on behind closed doors, all this shady dropping of cells onto brain cells and being, "Oh
Well,
my
like,
gosh, the brain cells are regrowing. Oh."
the scientists that she worked alongside were unaware of this,
That's
so I'm
so
pretty sure the
true.
chef was also unaware.
Maybe he was the only one who knows, and he should have he should have got down with the isolated science lab place. Oh, man. Well, I like the sharks. I thought that they were fun. I have to say, though, the death of whatever I said Stellan Skarsgard's character, that was, like, so horrific. Like, they did not need to kill him that
Yeah.
hard.
That
Like,
was
so he gets his arm bit off, and then they're trying to, like, tele not televac, helivac what am I trying to
hell of
say?
a I don't know. They're
When
trying
they
to save him up
hospital
in a
helicopter rescue
yeah.
him, whatever. So they're trying to pull him up in this big storm, and so he's, like, getting whipped all around. Eventually, like, he's all strapped in, has oxygen on, he's pulled under the water. Then the sharks use his, like, body as, like, a ramming device to break a window. It's
Which
absurd.
that was, like, the moment I was like, "Okay, okay, so that is
Yeah.
the
This
sharks
is the
are the
caliber.
villains. This is the
Yeah.
yes, this is the caliber of what's happening. There's all of these metal pieces around, but yes, let's use this flimsy older man body to break through this
So
glass."
cleanly. Also, it's underground, under ocean glass, and they broke it
Yes.
in, like, two bumps.
But Stellan is still alive through this because they had
Yes.
put him on oxygen
Yeah,
to lift him up in the helicopter,
right,
so
which
he
is, like,
hasn't drowned yet.
that's not how, like, the oxygen masks work, like, they're not scuba gear.
What a way to go, though. Also,
Uh-uh.
you left on the part where his arm was bitten off by a shark who jumped out of the water. He was
The
not in the
sharks
water with
were
the shark.
always jumping out of the dark holes. Like, stop standing near the open hole. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? How many times, like, Samuel L. Jackson's character is giving like a pep talk at one point, being like, "We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this," just wandering around by the open hole. What do you think happened to him?
The
Chomp
open
chomp. See you
hole
later.
that has the water that doesn't rise to fill the space it's
Right.
in, despite the fact that they are all underwater. And they do make some reference to it being like pressurized or it's a
Right.
vacuum or something, but I'm pretty sure that A, that's not how that works, and B, that would just be like literally the worst way to do anything.
Totally. And like a shark has to get a little bit of momentum going to jump out of the
Yes.
water.
Thank you.
Yeah. None of it. None of it. That is what is so bizarre about this movie is it's like we have to explain like instead of just being like this is ridiculous but we're doing it like Sharknado. It's like this is
Yeah.
ridiculous and we're going to tell you why it's possible, okay? We're like
They did
no.
love to explain it.
No.
Yes.
Like this is just not not I will say not reasonable, but like there's not even that doesn't even sum up
That's
what
not
this
even
is.
close. Yeah.
No. Well, I think this brings us to the science. So tell me any additional thoughts you have about that.
Okay, I am married to a literal neuroscientist,
Right.
so let's come at this from that direction. Who, when I first started complaining to him about this, he has seen this movie, but not for a very long time.
Okay.
He was at first like, yeah, like they like look at other creatures to do research on Alzheimer's, totally. But here's where my qualms begin. That she extracts some kind of quote unquote protein from this living shark's brain
Right.
and then drops it onto a just lump of brain matter that is not connected to anything,
Right.
just right on top of it. And they look at it under a microscope and things start moving. And she goes, "See, it's cured."
Yeah, like the neurons are firing, yeah, from this like dead lump of brain tissue. Yeah,
She's
not even
basically she could
close.
create Frankenstein
Not even
with that
close. We needed to
logic.
have something like extra creepy where she like wheels out her dad who she's like got like sedated and a craniotomy open in the back room and starts dripping it in there or
That this
something.
would be
Uncle
like a
Joe
little
or
better.
yeah.
Still just dripping it on top of it's not how that works, not how that would
No.
ever
Well,
work.
at least it would have been a little closer.
Yes, like something like not dead brain tissue at least.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
reanimated it. We have the way to Frankenstein. I've watched too many Frankenstein movies this year. Too many Frankenstein movies have come
There's
out this
so
year. Let's be
many.
honest.
So many.
Yes,
And I watched
yes.
0, which is kind of incredible.
That's mostly okay. The Bride was kind of cool, but
Yeah, no one
yeah,
told me anything about any of them that made me wanna
yeah,
watch them. I was
they're
like, "Sounds like you
fine.
just made a
You don't
good
need
story
to.
kinda weird
Yeah,
across the
yeah.
board."
It's a pretty weird story to start with.
It's
Yeah,
true, it was weird
yeah.
enough in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my other science qualm. The
Okay, yeah.
fact that she said she needed to make the shark brains bigger. And in my head, I was like, oh, okay, like maybe she was making them bigger because like having them be more intelligent somehow factors into their efficacy here. No, she's like, because otherwise we wouldn't have enough. Have enough for what, lady?
I know. None of it made any sense. I don't remember the explanation for why it was sharks even.
I feel like this is a thing. I think that sharks in
Okay.
Alzheimer's research is at least hypothetically a thing.
Okay.
I could be
For whatever
wrong.
do sharks have
Evan's gonna
Alzheimer's?
divorce me after this conversation. Like I know we talked about
Oh,
this.
no. Sorry for setting you up there.
Yeah, but they're like they do have like I think maybe like regenerative
Okay.
properties, right? Like
There's
sharks live
something
a
about the
really,
shark
really long
brain.
time. There's something about
They
sharks,
have
I
old,
think.
withered brains like us humans can have.
Yeah, there's something there.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, she seemed kind of like an evil scientist to me. Were
Yes.
you, like, on her side through any part of it? Do you feel, like, empathy for her? Like, I work literally with people with dementia, like, every single day at work, like, multiple people, so it's not something that, like, is a joking matter to me by any stretch of the imagination, and I wish there were more research, but, like, I don't know, when the shark clearly has turned rogue and is trying to eat us all, and then she hits the button to release it into the ocean, like,
It's
girl.
true.
Also, can you not replicate, like, your science in any way? She's like, "This is the only chance because I broke the law, so this is my only shark." So then literally everyone dies, including her, for the research.
Yeah, I
I
would
guess she got what was coming to
say,
her.
yeah, I, like, didn't really have any qualms with her, like, the motivation is great. I think the Harvard Compact sounds like a bunch of bullshit,
Right,
so
right.
whatever, you can
Yeah,
violate that.
yeah.
Who knew that creating big brain sharks would make them vengeful
Honest mistake,
also?
honest mistake.
But yeah, then I think when it's, like, clear that the shark is out to get them and she,
Yeah.
like, tries to keep it, yeah,
It was a
we're
very good
gone.
dramatic button push.
It
It was
was,
good,
it
and the shark
was.
just, like, whatever, sinks into its
She had to,
pressurized
like,
tomb.
dive through all that, like, bloody water
Oh,
to that was on the surface to get to it.
yeah. Oh, that
Yeah.
was a good moment, but so
Yeah.
silly, so silly.
Yeah.
I was a little bit afraid for a minute there that she was gonna be, like, the final girl or that it was gonna be, like, a
Oh,
final couple and her
yeah.
and Carter were gonna kinda, like, make it out of there, so I was, relieved to see her go. I thought that that
Yes.
was fitting. And then we kind of got random final friends with LL Cool J and Carter making it out of the situation unscathed relatively.
With, like, one of the worst closing lines I think I've ever heard in a
Yes.
movie. LL Cool J says, what does he say? I wrote it down. Let me get this right. "Take me back to the ghetto."
Yeah.
And Carter goes something like, "Me too."
Like, what a odd tonal shift from this vengeful shark movie.
Indeed.
Yeah. And then we get some nice little
Indeed.
LL Cool J original shark rap song, which was
That
definitely a
was
90s thing.
great. I
Bring
loved
that
that.
back. Have
Yes.
more rappers and hip hop artists in movies and then have them make original I'd actually maybe that never left. Maybe they're just not as fun as the 90s bops
Maybe
that
we
we
just,
used to
like,
get.
don't watch those movies. I don't know, I feel like maybe it's not a thing anymore, but
Yeah. We're
I
not as
loved
fun
it.
as we used to be, but that was great.
Yes. Yes,
Um
agreed.
any final thoughts before we get into my final question here?
Yes, I need to know if you view this movie as a slasher. The
Oh,
sharks picked the people off one by one by one, and
yeah.
we only had 2 of, like, a dozen characters left at the end.
Yeah, 1,000%. I would say this is a slasher. It's a discussion that comes up a lot with Jaws. Like, is Jaws a slasher?
Ooh,
Yes, because it's
okay.
kind of like, they're like, it's a creature feature. That's not how
Mhm.
slashers work. But no, I think like when you look at the objective definition of a slasher, like gory, high body count, short period of time, kind of an enclosed setting. Yeah, I would say this is definitely a slasher. And partly probably why I like it. I also think that I like half of the movies we cover like purely on nostalgia alone.
It's totally fair.
Like
Yeah.
this is a bad movie.
Yeah, oh,
This is a bad
absolutely.
movie, but it has some fun moments and I love just like a background vibe and this is a great like late 90s early 2000s vibe for me.
Yeah, whenever you tune back into the movie, something will be happening.
Yeah.
You will not hit a lull.
It'll be silly and it'll be fun and there'll be some scary little sharky teeth. So
Yeah, perfect.
my last question for our last episode of season 2 will be our classic haunted homebodies. Is it cozy? Is it horror?
Oh my
Um
goodness.
so I said cozy, yes, for me, like I said, only because of nostalgia. I don't think there's like a single other cozy thing that's happening in this movie.
Yeah, except that I would say that I find campy things to be a little cozy, like
Yeah.
over the top things to be a little cozy.
Yeah.
But
It's
there is nothing
comforting.
like that is actually cozy
Like
within it.
thematically cozy or visually
Yeah.
cozy. But I agree. Yes, there's something comforting in it. Like you're not going to be traumatized by this kind of movie. Like it's just so silly.
Yes.
Like nothing about it is that disturbing, even though like people's arms are getting bit off,
I
etc.
like that.
Yeah.
Comforting, not necessarily cozy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In terms of horror, I thought that maybe if I could like bring it back to the early days or like the first time watching it, which I don't remember, I'm sure that there are plenty of like jump scares. There's definitely some decent sharky suspense moments. Like it's a very classic shark movie technique, right? With the like, is that a shark in the water? Is it floating under that? Or like, the not being able to see it. And yeah, I thought that was played pretty well. But overall, like, I don't think this is really a scary movie.
No, but I think if the question is it horror? And we've defined it as a slasher, I
Sure.
will call it horror. But no, I did not
Yes.
find it. And
It's gory.
I don't feel the same way about sharks that you do. So like
Oh,
when the sharks get extra silly like this, like it takes any element of scary
yeah.
out for me.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the one scene, I think it's probably with LL Cool J's character, where it jumps out of the water when he's like reaching for a bird. That one
Oh,
got me.
yeah. I
That
mean,
one got
also,
me.
like, it's pretty tense when he's, like, in that oven, and then the shark turns on the oven.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
haven't talked about that.
How could we forget? There's so many.
What a movie.
We needed to take meticulous notes on this because how could we forget? How could we wait till the final minute to mention that? That is the best part of the whole movie. I just
Wow.
keep having play in my brain the scene where they are like all freaking out because the sharks have learned to put it in reverse, and the shark is just like backing up and like headbutting the wall, and they're like, "Oh my god, the shark is brilliant!"
I love that. I love that in this movie, a shark's ability to swim forwards and backwards is about their brain size and not any other anatomical issue that they would have with that.
Totally. And then they
Just their brain,
also
they're smarter.
either before or right after that, when they like systematically eat all of like the cameras. Is that this movie, or am I hallucinating?
That is totally this movie. You are absolutely right.
Like how have
Yes.
we not talked about? We're just like, this movie is absurd, but there are like so many
Well, yeah,
specific
we'd have to go
situations.
through
Like beat
we'd
by
have to go
beat.
through the entire script line by line to hit everything. It's
Totally.
absurd.
At every turn. It's just pure silliness, but that can be really fun. So an interesting note to end season 2 for sure.
But like a perfect one.
Yeah,
Perfect one.
it works.
Yes.
It works. And there is no what will we be talking about next week, because there will be no next week. I know, it's so sad. But this was really fun. This is a great season. I'm proud of us for making it this far, and thank you to everyone for coming along this ride. We're looking forward to season 3 and whatever else we can come up with for our cozy horror themes. I mean, we got plenty to go.
There's so many to come. And you know what? We'll take suggestions. Specific
Absolutely.
movies, themes, whatever. Help inspire us for when we come back for season 3.
Yeah,
Whenever that will be.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll see you out there.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Haunted Homebodies. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
And remember, when in doubt, just stay home.